Have you been asking yourself the best liquidity concept you should trade? Then this is the right video for you. Hey guys, you're welcome back to Synthetic Goddess YouTube channel. Yeah, this channel, I teach strategies that will make you profitable in the synthetic markets and the financial markets as a whole. If you're interested in this, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be notified whenever I drop any video. So in this video, I want to teach you the best liquidity concepts that you need to trade. Yes, the best liquidity concept you need to trade. Now, this is going to help you to identify proper break of structure. Yes, in identifying proper break of structure, in identifying where you should enter the market, how you should get your entry confirmation. It is also going to help you when you are picking out your POIs. Yes, this concept I am about to teach you is a game changer. So listen attentively and watch till the end to get hold of the best of this video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you tips on how to check out for this particular concept perfectly, and you would rarely make a mistake. Yes, so let's get started. Now, when we talk about liquidity concept as a whole is just where money resides in the market, and basically when we talk about where money resides in the market, it is where retail traders' money reside in the market. Yes, where their money resides in the market. And that is why market seeks to take retail traders' money out before they make that major move. And you will notice that sometimes you're going to put your stop loss at a particular place, and immediately market rates out the stop loss, it will start moving in your direction. That is when we say market took out that particular liquidity. Market knows where retail traders put their stop losses, and that is why they seek to rate their stop losses where money resides. Yes, that is why they seek to rate them all out, and then they start moving in your direction. So I'm not going to be talking on so much right now. And the concept I just want to explain to you is majors. And when we talk about major liquidity, yes, major liquidity, we are talking about basically inducement. I know you've heard about inducement concept multiple times, but then I'm going to be giving this in the most simplest form. So when we talk about inducement, we are basically talking about deceit in the market, those areas where market is deceiving you into the market, and immediately they take it out, they start moving in your direction. So let's see something. So when we have something like this, then market comes back to reach this particular high. This is inducement. This high is the inducement. And how will you know that this high is a confirmed inducement? Because sometimes markets will do something like this and it will continue moving to the upside. So how do you know this truly was the inducement that market came back to take? It is when we have our break of structure to the downside. That is when you validate that, oh, this is truly the inducement that market came back to take. That is when you can validate this high as the inducement market actually came back to take. And as a result of that, we are going to call this particular high a major high. Yes, we're going to call this particular high a major high. And sometimes you're going to see multiple manipulations. Now, what do I mean by multiple manipulation? You'll see something like this. Markets will reach the high, come back, break this low, then still come back to reach this high before making that specific movement. Now, this particular one, I just made an example of, is based on time frame. Yes, it's based on time frame because a major high on lower time frame might be the inducement of higher time frame. You can see that this is what we were supposed to tag as our major high. right? This is what we were supposed to tag as our major high, but that high that we are tagging as a major high on lower time frame might be the inducement of the higher time frame. You should know how time frame works. You should know how time frame works. So that is what will give you more edge in the market. So you should also pick out the time frame you're going to be using when it comes to analyzing the market perfectly. That is what will save you a whole lot of confusion and stress. You need to get a particular time frame that you know that works perfectly for your setups. So this particular high that market came back to take is actually the inducement for the higher time frame. So when you see something like this, don't be confused, right? Don't be confused. Also, I am always saying that market will not tell you what it wants to do. Yes, market will not tell you what it wants to do. Market will just present itself just in the normal way. So you have to have a better way of interpretation of the market. Every one of us are just finding our way of interpreting the market. So you should find a better way of interpreting the market whenever the market does anything. So when markets come back to take this particular high, it is an inducement on the higher time frame. So you don't need to panic about that. So this is what we will call our major, again, this is what we will call our major high. Again, so when market takes an inducement, when market takes a previous high, a previous visible high. Let me make that really clear. A previous visible high. Now, don't call a high. The market only took out week. You know, there are sometimes we might have a strong week. We might have a visible week. And markets will just use a particular high in taking out the previous week, and you call it a major. No, that's not a major. It's just a clearing of that week because the week could not hold the market. So you should not be saying weak. Now, when I talk about visible highs, I am talking about something like this. I'd love to clear this so I can show that properly. When I talk about visible highs, I am talking about something like this. I am talking about something like this high. This high here. This is a visible high. But let's take, for instance, you have like a week like this. A market took out this week. I mean, a week like this. I'm talking about a week like this. And peradventure market took out that particular week. You are not expected to call that. You are not expected to call this low an inducement. You are not expected to call this low an inducement. It is just a week. I am trying to find a better example for it because sometimes you will come across it in the market. So let's take, for instance, you can see the market took out this week. This is a week the market took out. Now, you are not expected to call this low. You are not expected to call this low an inducement, or you are not expected to call this low a major. You should look for a visible high or a visible low that market clearly took. So, for instance, this is a visible high the market clearly took, and that is why you can see the market could not break this high, this particular high. Market could not break this particular high. I would love to put this. Market could not break this particular high, basically because it is a major high and it took out this previous high. This is a visible high. If you check 4 hours time frame, you will see that it was a lower high, lower low. There was a creation of lower high, lower low at that particular place. And market came back to break off that lower high. So that is what we call our visible high or visible low. So market came back to clear it out. This is what I was explaining. Market came back to take out this high. Market came back to take out this high. Now, this high is is our inducement. This particular high is the inducement. And this other high is our what? Is our major high. Yes, this is our major high. That is what we call our major high. So you can see that this is a major high. Now, what is a major high? I would love to explain that. A major high or a major low. Let me put it in that manner. A major high or a major low is actually an area where you are not expecting markets to break. Personally, I love to call it major liquidity, right? Market will always clear liquidity in the market. So personally, I love to call it major liquidity. So major liquidity are those areas where you are not expecting markets to raid. You are not expecting market to raid it off. I made mention of, I explained majors in one of my videos, so you can just check out the liquidity videos that I have done in the past for you to be able to get this concept very well. So when we talk about major liquidity, they are just areas we are not expecting market to raid, right? So for instance, in a downtrend, we are not expecting market to come back and just be raiding our highs anyhow. So there are characteristics of majors. So one of the characteristics of majors is markets taking previous highs or taking previous lows. That's how we identify our majors. Taking previous highs or taking previous lows. That's how we are able to identify our majors. So you can see that market took out this previous high before breaking structure to the downside. Before breaking structure to the downside. And when we had this break of structure to the downside, this automatically becomes our major, and we are not expecting markets to do what? To raid our majors. Now, how do you identify your break of structure, your valid break of structure? Your valid break of structure comes when majors are broken. How do you get your PO high? Your PO high should be at majors. This is getting interesting, right? How should you get your entry confirmation? Your entry confirmation should break a little major. That is just it. If you can put out this law for yourself that I am getting my break of structure when we have a major break, I am getting my PO high at majors, because obviously I am not expecting market to break a particular major. So I'm going to be picking a PO high around that major. So how should you get your entry confirmation? You can go to lower time frame and seek out for majors at the PO high you've marked out, and watch markets take out that major on that lower time frame, and you're good to go. You have your entry confirmation. That is as simple as possible. So since we have this major here, let's assume market took out this major. Let's assume we eventually came back and then we broke this major to the upside. That is clearly our minor break of structure for this particular range. So this high is also not safe. This high here is also not safe if we can break out this major, and that is why you can see the markets could not break that major. Now, if you want to enter the sell movement, you would mark out your major around there. You will mark out the PO high around that major, the PO high that has not been tested. You can see that this is a sponsored candle around there. This is a sponsored candle around there, and this is a wick around there. This is a wick that cleared out every other liquidity around there. So you can also go to lower time frame. I mean, you can refine it to lower time frame to be able to clearly get your points of interest, to be able to get your point of interest. And as you can see here, the market respected this area. You can see how the market respected it properly. So how do you get your entry confirmation since market is respecting a PO high at this major? You just go to lower time frame, check out for majors around this area. What do I call major again? It is when market has taken a particular previous low or a particular previous high. So something like this. So something like this. The market comes back to break it. This is your entry confirmation. and then you get a continuation movement, and that is how you enter at your POI. You ensure you are getting something like this. You ensure market is giving you something of this nature. You're very sure market is giving you something of this nature. So when we got to the POI around here, what are you expecting to see on the lower time frame as your confirmation? You're expecting to see something like this. Then we have a low. We have a high broken. Then we come back to reach this low. We come back to reach this high again. Then you have something like this. And then you get your continuation entry for this particular set. When you see markets display this kind of things, you already know that this is my entry confirmation, and I am entering the market immediately. It displays this particular setup. When it displays this particular setup. So why do you really need major? How do you really use major? The first way to use your major is identifying break of structure. Yes, when market breaks majors. And also, please take note, majors differ on different time frame, so you don't get yourself confused. Majors, they differ on different time frames. So if we take lower time frame major, it can be a liquidity for higher time frame. So you should be able to know how to shuffle between the lower time frame and the higher time frame, how you can check up your lower time frame, comparing it with the higher time frame. So be able to shuffle in between that. So the first way for us to identify our break of structure is when market breaks majors. So the best way we are going to identify all of this, that market has changed our structure to the downside, is when we break a major. So how do we identify a major? You can see that we had a break of structure to the upside here. Does this low carry a major? We're going to check through now. So you can see that we actually have a major at this area. So since we have a major at this area, this low, this is a major, right? We are expecting market to come back and reach this low for us to have a confirmation that we are totally bearish. But everything that is happening around there is still a retracement until market takes out this particular low. So the second way for you to use your major is picking out points of interest. So since market is not here to break, since market has not taken our what? Our low, which is the major, I can actually mark out my points of interest around there. You can see that the last area of BMS was to the upside. So I can actually mark out my points of interest at the areas of this major. So how do I mark out my point of interest? I mark out my point of interest as a sponsored candle, since this is the area of major. So you can see I've marked out my point of interest. That's the second essence of using a major. And what's the third essence of using a major? It is for entry confirmation. Just get your entry confirmation using majors and you are good to go. And that is the best concept of liquidity trading. If you can master this piece, you will see your trading game literally change. So that's going to be all for now, guys. Keep living in the atmosphere of profit. I'll see you next time, guys. Have an amazing trading day.